Bună ziua, bine ați venit. Well, today I want to talk about a book by the author Michel Butor, La Modification, which you could translate as A Change of Heart, written in 1957 and won a prize, literary prize, the Prix Renaudot in 57. Now, Butor is part of the group known as the Nouveaux Romanciers, Nathalie Sarraute, Alain Rogrier, turning literature on its head a little bit. And the first thing that strikes you in this book is the use of the vous form. So the either the plural or the polite form of vous entrez dans le wherever it is. He's coming onto a train. It takes place within 24 hours. It's a train journey from Paris to Rome. And the vous form indicates a lack of intimacy, and that will be explained later in the novel. It's the story of a businessman, Léon Delmont, who has been travelling to Rome once a month for the past 2 years to see his mistress, Cécile. And he's made a big decision. He's decided to leave his wife, to go to Rome, and to bring Cécile back to Paris. So, the novel is really about him discovering more about himself during the course of the journey, his motivations, his reasons for leaving his wife, his reasons for feeling attracted to Cécile, and about writing a novel. I think most novels you could describe as psychological in essence, and this is certainly a psychological novel. It's about the psychology of Léon and the psychology of the midlife crisis, if you like. What he ultimately decides to do, I don't think I'll reveal. He travels third class. He's a successful businessman, so he could travel at a higher grade, but he goes third class and meets a series of people in his carriage. The novel takes place, as I've said, over 20, just under 24 hours, about 20 hours, and has a series of flashbacks. So we have time and space confined and trapped, and they're confined and trapped within the arena of the train journey and the train compartment. I think ultimately, I've been thinking about this recently, novels are about finding your true character. I think I've said this before, that when I read the series of Proust novels, À la recherche du temps perdu, you read it and then you realize you've actually been reading about yourself, and that's quite a startling realization. Léon goes through, he has a series of images. He goes through Fontainebleau, and there is a ghostly figure, a leitmotif, if you like, called the Grand Veneur, who keeps asking him questions about his character, about himself. Very interesting. What is the appeal of his mistress, Cécile? Well, it's not really about Cécile at all. It's about the mystery of Rome. It's the comparison, if you like, between pagan Rome and his Christian wife. He goes to Rome on this train, this long train journey, and then spends the weekend alone and writes about the failure in this book. So the book is actually written by the character Léon Delmont. So it's a great read. It's a fantastic book. I can recommend it. I read another couple of books by Butor. I think he ended up in Geneva. I think he ended up teaching in Geneva, but I'm not quite sure. L'Emploi du Temps, which is again a really interesting book about I think it's about an exchange student who comes to England to work in the north of England and how he finds that. And then there's another fascinating book called Degré, which features a teacher called Vernier. Now Vernier, as you know, the I think the calipers, Vernier calipers, they measure everything, and it's about him wanting to structure his life and measure everything and measure his pupils' ability. So what's the appeal of Cécile? Well, it's the mystery of Rome. And Delmont realizes that if he brings Cécile back to Paris, it will just be more of the same mundane, day-to-day existence, and he isn't really prepared to do that. So he forgoes the chance to meet her and returns to his wife. And I think this is where the vous form comes in. There is a lack of intimacy within this relationship. The intimacy is the appeal of Rome, the mystery of Rome, pagan Rome. But he takes 20 hours to find this out on his train journey. It reminds me a little bit, I wonder if he read this, of I think I've done this, I've covered this on the vlog earlier, Jean Echenaux's Je m'en vais, where a character leaves his wife, goes away, but then returns at the end. Really, really interesting. Fantastic novel. I can't recommend it highly enough. Michel Butor, La Modification. If you haven't read it, I hope you will, and I hope you enjoy it. See you on the next one. Bună ziua, bine ați venit. Well, today I want to talk about a book that amazed me when I first read it. It's called La Modification by Michel Butor. Here it is. And you could translate it, I suppose, as a change of heart. It won the Prix Renaudot in 1957. It was published in 1957. One of the interesting things about this book is that it's written entirely in the vous form, so implying an address, a direct address to the reader, and maybe a lack of intimacy, because vous, as you know, is the